powerful, amazing organizations. I want to thank Mr. Harrison for setting up last night. We had dinner with a VIP that was in town, and then we shared with him the opportunity. Then after dinner, we went over to the VIP lounge, and then we started talking. Now, I'm not a name dropper, but this guy had certain people that I truly admire in business on speed dial, and he was texting them back and forth, because there's some things that, you know, you can go out and experiment with and make a little bit of money, but there's certain opportunities that come along every once in, like, say 10 or 15 years, that if you find yourself at the right place at the right time, I know it happened to me on a couple occasions, you truly can have massive success in a very short period of time, but you got to be at that sweet spot. Now, this is our 5th year anniversary, so it's not like we just sprang up yesterday. And I'm going to walk you through just a very simple journey. But here's the really good news. I've got my media department putting together very simple but very powerful videos that you can simply email, text, or post on your social media to get the attention of the business owners out there. And it doesn't matter if they're an influencer, if they're a non-for-profit, if they're a networking group, they're in direct sales. What we're about to talk about here tonight is truly a game changer, because as Mr. Harrison just talked about, we always wanted to and now are a disruptor in an industry. So in our personal opinion, we've put together a tech stack, because BeeKonnected is a technology company, and people are going to be able to save 50%, up to 80% on what they're already spending their money on in technology. And then we've created a very simple platform to be able to monetize your business like never before. So let me go ahead and share my screen to give you, now this won't take long, so just bear with me here for a second.
And if you're noticing JR freezing, Cox Communication in Vegas is having a little bit of a problem today. So he'll be back, just hang loose. And it shouldn't be long.
The suspense is crazy.
Yes, it is. But he'll come back. You know, JR was mentioning about meeting with a good friend of mine last night, and he was in Vegas, and I put them together. And I'll tell you what, he looked at this. He deals with some really, really big businesses and big business leaders across the country, names you would all know. And he said, I don't think I've seen anything that can do what you guys are doing. And I know he hasn't. So this is going to be great. I would sure get that down to that. So JR's left. He'll be coming back. And here he comes. Yes, this is the joys of the cable company. You know, I was just looking at a new computer, and the guy said, this one's almost human. He said, it doesn't think for itself, but if it makes a mistake, it'll blame another computer. How many of you ever had one like that? So Dr. Joe's here. Terrific. Thank you, Joe, for coming in. Well, I'm going to, instead of having a pause, one of the things that I've been asking for with this kind of a system is this, what JR is going to share with us a little bit about making this available to a lot of businesses and a lot of organizations. And I would say, think of associations as a good source. So my suggestion on your paper, you're taking notes on one side, on the other side, write down the names of businesses, individuals, or corporations, or organizations, or associations that you want to share this to. And then David Dubbs is putting together some videos for us to use. That will be a great service that we can enjoy. So I wish we didn't have a Cox communication issue there.
Compliments of the MGM signature.
Hey, we see you again, my friend. Welcome back.
Yeah, this week they've been a little weird. I don't know why. Let me do this. Let's try this again. Solar flares. Did that pop up on the screen there?
Yes.
Okay. So again, do apologize for the little hiccup here for Cox Cable is not being cooperative today. But getting into this little overview that I was talking about, and of course, we'll just edit out that Ray
Sure.
little mishap there. So in the realm of BeeKonnected, we now have not only one, but we now have two options to choose BeeKonnected as your primary source of all your business tools. Now, obviously, if you've been with us for a while, this is a very familiar site. But there's also option number two, which is going to be called, which is called in the business world, white labeling. And this is what's got everybody super, super excited. So let's go ahead and cover option number one, just to bring in anybody that's watching us for the first time. So we have a tech stack in option one that's like 9 deep. I'm not going to cover them all, but I'll cover the most important ones. First one is virtual conferencing. Now here we see a lot of room for improvement from the big three. I call them the big three. That's Microsoft, Google, and Zoom, which carries about 750 million people. But, you know, we built our model specifically for the business world. So you can see on the left of the screen as you're watching this one, there's 15 live links at 3 at a time.
I'm not sure your screen sharing is active.
Okay.
I can see it. No, he's good.
Okay. All right.
Is that back again?
Yes.
Okay, so 15, which can be a total of 15 live links. Now you're only seeing 3, but the host can simply click a button and rotate those 5 different times and make 15 different offers. Now the important thing is the first 3 can always be shown in a replay. So if you're making an offer, trying to sell a product, or you want somebody to do something, those links are still live in the replay. And I can't stress enough how important that is if you're in business, especially if you have something that you're trying to market to the public. Now, the rest of our integration, or I should say all of our software is integrated within the system, where if you're going to say, you know, a virtual conferencing company, they're having to talk to the other companies that are out there selling their stuff, and you got to kind of slap it together. Here, it makes your life a lot simpler because all the rest of the integration is done for you. And of course, this platform, and I saw in the chat somebody had typed out something in Thai, which is my adopted country, Thailand. It'll translate in over 100 languages. Now, another big tool that people are starting to discover, which is CRM. And a CRM makes your life a lot simpler because it helps you in all the follow-up. Now, our CRM is integrated within the scope of talking to the virtual conferencing platform, and also our calendar is integrated into this. And again, so a lot of the data capture is being done for you. But again, a CRM is something to help you do the follow-up. So you, of course, you can import, export leads when you're doing a virtual conferencing. You know, if somebody's following you, somebody's signing up on your calendar, somebody's joining your group, somebody's buying your product, all that data capture is being done for you. Another tool, of course, as I mentioned, is a business calendar. And we've got a business calendar, again, already integrated for the CRM and the virtual conferencing platform. Now, what we call that is the trifecta, but now we've got what we call the core 4, which is then also adding groups. Because the biggest problem that I see if you're trying to run a business online, and let's say you've got a Facebook group, you know, Zuckerberg is a genius because it's obviously the numbers don't lie. He's got about 2.85 billion people on his Facebook. He's got another couple billion people on Instagram. But if you have a group in one of those type of things, there's massive suppression because he didn't design it for it to be your business model. So again, you have to work really hard. And then when you're trying to get your communities notified about new announcements or keeping them updated, over 90% of them are not getting that information. And there's no suppression here at BeeKonnected. Now, and of course, here we can do public and private. We can do free or paid. And I'm going to come back to that because this is a very, very important part of option number 2. Now, instead of killing you like we've always done in the past with all of our amazing technology, just know this tech stack is all written by our IT department. All the coding is from the same people that are, as they're building another platform, making sure that it integrates with all the rest of the platforms here at BeeKonnected. Now, the beauty is in option number 1, you got a 14-day free trial to figure out what you like. So you can start for free and then upgrade to only what you need, right? We let you custom design your business model. Now, if we do just a little peekaboo about what companies are charging that are very successful out there, from your virtual conferencing to your CRMs, to your premium content companies, to the calendar systems, and the companies like LinkedIn and Alignable that are helping people do business to business, right? Communicating, connecting. It can add up, right? It can add up to hundreds and even thousands of dollars a month, right? So on an annual basis, on the low end, if you're in business, you're putting a lot of money out there to buy these tools. Now, this is just standard operating procedure. People pretty much have submitted, the price tag is what the price tag is. And then along comes a BeeKonnected that built a platform to be able to replace all of these and then only having to have one password to conduct business. Now, in our platform on option number 1, you can start out as just a free customer and stay there, or you can upgrade if you want with the 14-day free trial. And the majority of the people upgrade because they're needing either more attendees, and then of course they can also custom design, a business calendar, a CRM, things of that nature. Now, it's important to point out that the Platinum and Lifetime, number 3 and number 4, include all the options automatically. So if we do a side-by-side comparison of what we call the Frankenstein effect versus BeeKonnected, it's obviously a lot more cost-effective, and it's a lot more efficient for you because you're going to get more conversions, you're going to have more sales, things that are very important to a business owner, including like our Lifetime, which is where if you sign up on a lifetime offer, you just pay one time and you never have to worry about somebody whacking your credit card again. Now and in the future, any additional upgrades to BeeKonnected, you're grandfathered in. So I like to just say on a side-by-side comparison, we're a very strong candidate to become the winner. Now, remember, we're still in option number 1. So with the lifetime membership, which you never have to pay again, we've also made it simple to recoup your cash outlay, right? Your return on investment. If you refer 2 people at the lifetime offer, it comes with a $1,000 referral bonus. Now, this annoys some people. I understand that because they just want to focus on their business. But hang on, we haven't got the option 2. So again, with 2 referrals, not only will you never pay again, you get all your money back. And here in Vegas, we say you're kind of playing with house money. Now, again, this is for the networkers of the world, right? This is still option number 1, where somebody's an affiliate, and let's say they talk to somebody who wants a lifetime offer. They got quick cash flow, real quick turnaround. They get at least $1,000 right back in their bank account. Now, remember, everyone on social media / on the internet is building their own personal following. That is the nature of most businesses, is they're wanting to promote their own companies, their own products, their own services. But again, all of the services in BeeKonnected are monetized. So again, if somebody goes out and builds a following and any of the people in their network or anybody they refer decides to actually join BeeKonnected, there's residual income being created. And we've created what is called a 2-tiered system where it's equal pay. So you get to match 100% of someone's success. Now, I was in the home-based business world teaching people how to start a home-based business and build sales teams for many decades. But I also know that this is not what a traditional business owner wants to hear, right? I just understand that. But if we look at like one of our current customers that has 20,000 people in their network already, and they've decided to go with BeeKonnected for their virtual conferencing and all the tools I talked about, there's an opportunity for him to monetize that to get what we call non-dues revenue. And then remember, between 50 cents and $10 per customer outside the $1,000 bonus is generated. Now, again, you almost feel like you got to go to school to learn how all this works. But I promise you in option number 2, it becomes a lot clearer, a lot quicker. However, some people don't have a lot of cash flow. They need to start and they have to learn how to walk, crawl before they walk before they run. So it can create, a 6-figure income with this size of an organization. But I want you to kind of just, if you're jotting notes, write down that number. And then, of course, we haven't talked about, besides the residual income, how many of the 20,000 want to become lifetime members. It could be 10, it could be 100, it could even be 5% of their organization, which puts a lot of money back in the CEO's pocket. And then he gets 2 tiers. So he gets also a percentage of the following of the 20,000 entrepreneurs that belong, in this case, to the POB. Now that was option number 1, but now let's talk about what everybody's talking about now. This is all the buzz. Yeah, and there's no pun intended. There is a pun intended. The buzz of BeeKonnected, which is now white labeling BeeKonnected for all the entrepreneurs of the world. When I say entrepreneurs, it could be business owners, agencies, sky's the limit, right? So again, there's 5 billion people online. So what is white labeling? Well, if you're not familiar with that, that's instead of promoting BeeKonnected, we're simply going to allow the person to adopt all of our technology and slap their logo on everything possible here at BeeKonnected. So we're going to build an app for our customers. This is a picture of my phone, and then that would be your little icon that would be on everybody's phone. Of course, your company name would be there. Now, that has a whole different message and has a whole different feeling evoked if somebody now has got an app that's going to promote their coaching course, their network, whatever, their group. That's the easiest way to people like and share and talk about your company. And when they log in and they hit the button, again, their company is going to come up on the landing page to log into the account. So again, notice BeeKonnected is not mentioning anywhere. So it could be your logo, or it could actually be your design in case somebody's a famous coach or speaker. We can put their picture up there. Our marketing department can do magical things. But again, if you notice that the thing is shifted to, instead of promoting, say, BeeKonnected, they're simply promoting their company. So it looks a little different now when they log in because your logo is all over the place. And we have one little line on the bottom. It says powered by BeeKonnected, but it's your logo, your company, statement, whatever you want to say. Like if it was now Patriot-owned businesses, their logo would be all over the place. Now we call this the core 4 because we've taken in the hexagon has been modified slightly. And then let's just take a look at some of the top companies that BeeKonnected will directly compete against. Now, Zoom with 1,000 attendees, a company like Mighty Networks, maybe you know them, maybe you don't. They've done a great job of building an app and letting people with premium content create groups and sell their content. Then you get HubSpot, which is a leading CRM company. And notice the price points. You add up just these 4 components, we're over $559 a month. Now, you might be saying, I don't spend that much money. And some of you might be saying, I spend a lot more than that. But here's the counter to that offer within the core 4. Of course, remember, your logo's there. The people are seeing just your company offering a virtual conferencing room with 1,000 attendees, the 15 call to action buttons, the 5 room changes, the recordings, the transcription storage, the 100 plus substitute in languages, the breakout rooms, everything you would want in a virtual conferencing and more. And then, of course, the CRM, which is integrated with the calendar and all the things we talked about, the calendar system. And then Groups Plus is to let you build a community with no suppression and then be able to sell premium content within the groups, just like a Mighty Networks, right? Like a Calendly, like those type of companies. Now, with those 4 key components of the core 4, we're going to wholesale that, but it's actually just a pass-through for as little as $50. Remember, it was $559 before. Now the wholesale is $50. So now an entrepreneur can go out and let's say they charge their client $100 for the core 4. That's saving the client over $450 a month. Then what you're seeing here is there's going to be a one-time lifetime setup fee that handles all their upgrades, all the things. We run the customer service. That's kind of like a maintenance fee, but it's a one-time cost. Just with a little as 100 people within their group, they've like 1.2x their ROI. If they get to 500, now they're over 275,000 in pure profit. Get to 1,000, it's over $500,000. And then of course it gets into the many millions with a group of 10,000. So think about the POB that has 20,000 people in their thing, and they had half of them adopt these type of tools where the CEO can say, look, join my company. I'm going to save you a lot of money on your technology. And he gets to make millions of dollars without really overcharging the client, right? They get true value. But this is the one I would recommend, right? Now, you can charge whatever you want, right? Because it's up to the entrepreneur how they want to set this up. So if they went to 150, which is still saving the customer many hundreds of dollars per month, right? 400, that's times 12. What is that? That's still over $5,000 a year in savings. When they have a group of 100, they've cleared 95 grand. When they get to 500, they're over $500,000. Here's the fastest track, ladies and gentlemen, to make $1 million is to build a network of just 1,000 people. I was in direct sales and built teams of 10,000, 100,000, 200,000 people in a much difficult industry. But the ratio here is night and day, right? That's a 40 plus X return on investment from just having a group of 1,000. You want to get crazy talk, it gets in 8 figures with a group of 10,000. So remember what we talked about in option number 1 versus now option number 2. And you say, well, what about coaches? Well, we didn't even talk about selling anything, right? Because a coach has got a course or training people, and they're charging for a product or a service. So again, they can also blend any kind of membership fee they want into this, right? As the people download the app and they want to apply themselves to the company, sky's the limit of what you want to do. But again, with a coach or somebody in that category of description, having a group of 1,000 still clears over $1 million a year. Now, we were talking to some people last night, as I mentioned, over dinner, where companies had over hundreds of thousands of people, right? Again, so there's a very, very strong, if you will, payment or profit, I should say, of building out their business using this as an alternative to doing the Frankenstein, which you're, in my opinion, kind of being overcharged. So that's the disruptive nature. So if you think about it, paying 100 or 150 for something that's you're already paying hundreds of dollars or more a month is not really a stretch of the imagination. Now, again, just to recap here to this evening, remember the core 4 is all white labels. So that means the only thing you'll see about BeeKonnected is a little line underneath that says it's powered by us, but all the publicity, all the look and feel, and then the owner's not like trying to talk about another company. They specifically keep talking about their company. One-time setup fee, the wholesale cost is $50. And then, of course, all the customer service is being handled by our staff, our people, and the thing. So there's no headache here. So remember, with over $550 worth of tools, they can mark up the core 4 to whatever they feel comfortable with. And remember, with as little as 1,000 followers at 150, if you take out the wholesale cost of $50, they're still clearing $100,000 a month in profit with virtually no overhead, right? So that is the equation here at BeeKonnected. There's usually 3 kinds of options, right? When you're looking, if you're interested, one is to go back to option number 1 and just come in for free, but there are no financial rewards as free customers. 2 is to become part of BeeKonnected using the 14-day free trial. And all you need to be able to monetize our model is to be at the basic level, which is only $19.95 a month. So again, anyone can start a new business for $20, and then they can market or use the white label. Because remember, there's also a commission on the white label. So if you introduce a company, let's say that gets to that $1,000 threshold or 1,000-person threshold that's clearing $1 million, your commission is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 for one referral. That is definitely worth your time to promote a text, an email, or post, because there's tens of millions of customers out there that fall into this white label category. So a lot of people are very excited. So what we like to say is a new income stream hidden in plain sight. Let me see if I can get back here without Cox Cable getting mad at me. And then Ray, are you still with me?
I'm unmuted now. Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. Now, you heard about this just last Friday, correct?
Yes, sir. I was very blessed.
And then you mixed it up with had a couple conversations with a few people.
I have.
What did you find out with their reaction?
Everybody's reaction was, well, I was in a networking group and I shared some of this yesterday. And one of the things that I said was, when was the last time you said, boy, I wish I would have known about that sooner? And I said, today is sooner. So they looked at this, said, the first questions were, you can deliver this? And I said, yes, the technology and the scale is there, that we're pulling this together for you, and very shortly we'll be delivering it to you. And they said, and we are being told what we have to sell it for? That was the first comment one of the big groups made. This is a group with about 30,000 members. And they said, we can set the price that we want to sell that at? I said, absolutely. And it was impressive for them. Yeah,
we are talking tens and tens of millions of dollars a year in additional revenue without reinventing the wheel. Now, what are the next steps, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, that's the important part, because obviously you get an idea, people get excited what I do. So understand, we'll be having more content, more information on this upcoming Saturday, which I believe is, what is that, the 19th. Now, there's a lifetime offer in the middle. These are all the links over to the left-hand side. So there's a lifetime offer for those people who never want to pay again. That's in option 1. But if you're interested in option 2, either using it and becoming a white label person yourself, or you simply want to promote it, either way, you can make a ton of money, right? Like I said, each client could be worth tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission. And there's no tier aspect. There's no confusing charge. It's a set commission. You're going to get a percentage of the sign up for the people to do the lifetime setup for their thing, and then you're going to get a set commission on the referral, and that's it. There's no chart to figure out, so it's just flat thing. So that, hopefully that doesn't offend anybody, unless you don't want to get paid for the referral. And then I'm going to give you my address if you don't like, and you can send your money over to me. There's a thing that says white label. And what you want to do there is simply click on the link. It'll save to your browser and fill out the form. And one of our executives from the company will then contact you and go through the intimate details about how this works. Now, we're getting all, it's on what they call a WUFU form. I don't know who came up with WUFU, but it's catchy name. And I've seen some amazing things coming from halfway around the world to here. So the whole point of having this conversation, remember now, we just implemented this. So again, we want to ourselves crawl before we walk, walk before we run. But fill out the white label form. We're going to contact you, and then things are already in motion. Now, here, so we keep it real. We make apps now for our customers. You can't click your fingers and spit that out in 24 hours, because the internet gods at the Play Store, Apple and Android, they've got to approve the app, which is not a problem, because we're just slapping different logos on stuff they've already approved. We got to get that thumbs up from them, and then we can implement all the stuff that we talked about here tonight. Now, again, have a little patience. Each client doing a white label form, you're not going to get people that are trying to kick the tires. We're talking to organizations, as Mr. Harrison just talked about, of 5,000, 10,000. I've had several conversations this week of 10,000 to 20,000 people. And then Ray talked about somebody with 30,000. These are type of accounts. One, we're going to help them make millions of dollars. And then the person referring them is also going to get a very handsome income as well. Now, remember, this is not direct commission. It's residual commission. Every time a customer is paying for their services, money is still being generated. But we took out all the nonsense of talking about matching and all this other stuff. So it's very clean, very simple. And then again, we're going to hit the industry. Now, here's a couple of numbers that you want to think about walking away from here tonight. Between Microsoft Teams, Google Meets, and Zoom, just those three companies, they have 750 million people, approximately 750 million customers on an outdated virtual conferencing platform compared to the one that we have. And then our CRM and our calendar system all linked together. And then the sweet spot here also, outside of direct sales companies, are your coaches and people that are creating apps and trying to form groups and then sell their content to their people. And here at BeeKonnected, no suppression. And you get all the technology and all the tools all in one place. And then you can quick turn a profit, lickety split, right? And that's what people want. They want quick paydays. They don't want to do the headache. They don't want to do the coding. They don't want to do customer service. And so that's what BeeKonnected is. White labeling the most advanced technology on the internet and then paying more money than most people would expect, right? Because as Mr. Harrison, you talked about, getting a wholesale rate. Now, this is not foreign to me because I've been the CEO of different companies before, and I understand white labeling because I've done it, like say, in the skincare business, where the primary company making the formula tells me I have to pay them a certain dollar amount for the actual raw products. And then I'm allowed to decide what the price point on the industry is, right? So they're the wholesaler, I was the retailer. So I found a product that was being way overpriced in the marketplace, but they'd done billions of dollars of sales. And they were charging, I took the price down by 90%. So the product was flying off the shelf. And when I went to the primary provider of the product, I said, are you okay with me charging less money? And his comment was, as long as you pay me my wholesale rate, I don't care what you mark up the product or mark down the product. It's branded under you anyway. So again, I took it down 90%. And of course, that's how I was able to eventually have a relationship, business relationship with our CEO here, is I had one of the most dynamic skincare products on the line. It was diamond infused skincare, but I took the price down by 90%. And she was a very happy camper. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, remember Saturday. So again, we're going to be getting, we got the marketing department working on right now. They're in the final editing phase. You're going to simply offer a video out there to text, email, or post. People are going to be interested. The presentation is not as lengthy as the one you had tonight. It's half of what you saw tonight. You can do it in 5 minutes. I had a business dinner last night, and we were at a very fancy restaurant, and the guy was trying to press me for the information. I said, well, the conversation's only going to be 5 minutes. So I said, go ahead and eat. And when we're done, it'll take me 5 minutes to show you from start to finish what the white label version of BeeKonnected. And sure enough, I finished it under 5 minutes, and he was kind of shocked that we could offer all this technology for such a low threshold of a price point. And then he was thinking about all the people in business that he knew. And I'm being pinged here by the boss lady. So give me 1 second. Okay. So with that said, I appreciate you all coming here this evening and spending your quality time. And I'm 5 minutes overdue, so I apologize for that. You guys have a wonderful time. Till we meet again, God bless and have a great day. Come on.